glad to have you back. Now, despite security presence at Nigerian airports, reports of burglary and theft of luggages from aircrafts in the taxiways of the Lagos airport have become rampant.
Yeah, some days ago, there were reports of how 2 private jets were attacked while taxiing on the runway and luggage stolen from their cargo holds on the runway of Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos. Now, while the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria swiftly debunked the reports, claiming that the committee it set up to investigate the matter could not authenticate the reports of burglary and theft, recent tweets from Nigerian music heavyweight Tiwa Savage corroborated the reports.
Indeed, Tiwa Savage took to her Instagram page to vent her frustration about the theft of her belongings. According to the musician, she was aboard a chartered private jet from Uyo in Akwa Ibom State to Lagos, and upon landing, the pilot announced that his dashboard showed that someone had opened the cargo door.
Now, this has raised fresh concerns over the security and safety at the airports.
Well, joining us on phone is Chairman Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association, Danjuma Ahmed, on the show. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
All right, I want to get your stance on this first off. Is it true or not, the allegation leveled against the airport by Tiwa Savage?
Well, like you rightly said,
Danjuma, are you there?
yeah, I'm with you.
All right, we're listening.
Yeah, just like you said, it's an allegation. An allegation cannot be confirmed until otherwise investigation is carried out and established beyond reasonable doubt that that particular incident actually happened. As it is, the management of Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria and other security agencies have actually swept into action, and a committee has been set up to investigate the actual claim by these individuals. And these are security issues. And you are all aware, particularly MMA is highly fortified airport. Our apron and aircraft taxiing areas are highly restricted areas. And it looks very funny for one to say an aircraft on taxi is being burgled without anybody noticing it. That really is a very cause for concern. And I think we should allow the investigation team to bring out their reports before we conclude that actually whether that action actually happened or not.
Right. Let's get into the security precisely. When it comes to aviation, we know how sensitive this can be. And looking at it from the layman's perspective, the logic of a plane or an aircraft that is still taxiing to be attacked and then maybe one way or the other luggage is removed from it may seem very impossible. But when there are testimonies from either the pilot or passengers that they've lost their luggages one way or the other, is something really something one should be concerned about. So when it comes to the security on at the airport, who should be held responsible generally, or who is in charge of that aspect of security within the taxiing area or the tarmac area?
Yeah, FAN has the responsibility to secure the airport effectively and efficiently, but there are other security agencies starting with that responsibility. Like at the apron area, there is a task force which is being headed by the Nigeria Air Force, armed guards that are starting with the responsibility of patrolling the apron and the tarmac area in conjunction with other security agencies. It is a collective responsibility, not one agency responsibility. And like I said, when you look at the circumstances of this report, this is an aircraft that take off from point A to point B, and the report or the allegation comes at point B, and it's very, 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 very unfair for somebody to say this is where precisely this thing happened, because something can happen either from before you can even start investigating from the hotel where these individuals lodged in. How are we sure that those baggages were not filtered at that hotel? Or how are we sure in transit before leaving the airport, after leaving the airport to their own destination, whether that particular baggages were not filtered? So these are issues that is very wide, and investigation is the only option that can reveal the mystery behind it.
Insinuating that Stuart Savage is lying about this because, of course, she said the pilot indicated that the cargo hold was opened. And apart from that, this is not the first time we are hearing stories of this. In fact, a TVC colleague told me of her ordeal where her luggage was stolen at the airport when she disembarked and her luggage could not be found. And I doubt if she got her luggage eventually because she had to go on the social media to rant about it. So is it about this? Because we understand that, in fact, the airport has just one escort vehicle that works only during the day and not at night. Tell us about this one.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. We have about 4 or 5 serviceable vehicles, and each aircraft that lands is to be escorted to its parking area. Each aircraft that is taken off will be escorted to the runway. So it's not true for someone to say it's only one patrol vehicle that escort and receive aircraft at the same time. When we have landings, about 3, 4, 5 aircraft land at the same time within an interval of 5 to 3 minutes. So if you are having only one vehicle, how do you expect the vehicle to run down all these 3 aircraft at the same time? It's not possible. So we're having more than one vehicle. That is not true. And missing luggage is a common thing globally, not only particular to Nigeria. And it can happen anywhere, like I said. If like your staff that claimed his bags was missing, it could be that's what we keep on saying every time, that passengers should stand by their luggages, that unattended bags will be removed and destroyed by the authorities. It's for security reasons. Somebody can mistakenly dump his bag and it may look alike with another passenger's bag, and that passenger will easily pick it and go away with it. It's very, very unlikely if that person might bring that, unless if the person has fear of God and he discovers that that particular bag is not his, he might return it back. But in many cases, it hardly happens. They hardly return it back. So missing bags are common not only in our airports, globally. It can happen anywhere. But for someone to say it's only one patrol vehicle and our airport, that's not true.
All right. Now, let me ask this. A lot of Nigerians have been very concerned about the way government agencies engage them and disseminate information to them. Now, if anyone comes up with the issue of, I lost my luggage on transit from point A to point B, and then there was the issue of, okay, it must be at the when the aircraft was taxiing on the tarmac, as the case may be, he or she is an aggrieved customer, and one way or the other, like they say, customer is king. Now, instead of debunking that this didn't happen and all of that, wouldn't it be best to say, okay, we're looking into this, and if there's anything like that, we'll bring out all of the facts behind it so that Nigerians can see clearly that this is actually what happened, or this is how it didn't happen, instead of debunking?
Yeah, over time, we take the issues of our passengers very, very seriously. And debunking is not an issue. To me, when the incident was actually reported initially, what the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria said is that a committee has been set up to investigate this particular issue. And in the course of the investigation, this is just a preliminary report. What was revealed in the course of the investigation clearly showed that that is an impossible incident. Like I said, a moving aircraft, unless I can't imagine what the magic somebody can deploy to open the hull of a moving taxiing aircraft to remove a single bag out of 4 bags. There are many bags in that hull, and only one was removed. And let me tell you, that hull can be accessed through the internal cabin of the aircraft, not only the external part of the aircraft. So which means the crew themselves can access their bag inside the cabin, not necessarily from coming out. So these are issues that need to be investigated deeply to find out actually what really happened. It could be an act of sabotage, or somebody wants to dent the image or name of another person. So these are issues that need to be investigated deeply for us to come out with a clear statement. But debunking, I think, is not to say that whether it has not happened, but we are investigating, and that's what the management of FAS said. And the initial report clearly indicates that it's an impossible task.
Well, many are saying that the FAAN is talking like this about this issue, especially because that this incident coming public could jeopardize the airport's certification.
No. I don't think that can affect it. When you say certification is beyond issue of theft. When we are talking about certification, we are talking about safety and security. So it's beyond these minor issues. And our facilities, particularly in our airports, are of world standard. For a certification to be cancelled because of a minor case like that, I don't think it's possible. It's not possible.
So are you saying that when there are reports or cases of theft, that they are too petty to impact the rating of or international rating or certification of an airport?
Very well, very well. What airport is more concerned about is the safety of the aircraft itself and the passengers.
All right. Okay. So moving on now, there was an issue some months back of a 15-year-old boy who stowed away to London from Nigeria here. And of course, it brings to the surface again the need for the airports to be more secured. Or would you say that that never happened as well? That was just another story, so different?
No, it did. I'm not debugging that. It did. And I think where that happened was, you look at the peculiarity of the airport concern.
Okay, go ahead. We are listening.
We look at the peculiarity of the airport concern. There are 2 layers or 3 layers of security in an airport. There is the outer layer, the middle layer, and the inner layer. The outer layer is concern of the perimeter, and there are 2 types of perimeter fences. One, the outer perimeter fence provides a barrier between the public area and the aircraft movement area. Then most of our airports, unfortunately, has only 1 or 2 layers. I think it's only Abuja and Lagos that has 2 layers of perimeter fences. That would definitely, and along these two perimeter layers, the first one is supposed to be equipped with intrusion devices, alarm intrusion devices, CCTV cameras, and the rest. Then guard posts within an interval of like 50 to 100 meters. There should be a guard post. Then consistent patrol within the perimeter fences. These are security apparatus that need to be deployed in every airport that's supposed to be secured effectively. But incidentally, in Nigeria, we have challenges. Some of our airports are lacking this equipment. So intrusion can easily be done easily. Like, look at Benin Airport, for example. You can walk in from the bush to the runway of Benin Airport. So if there's an intrusion there, it shouldn't be a surprise. But it cannot be possible in MMA, because MMA is highly fortified. Abuja is highly fortified with 2-layer perimeter fences. So for someone to jump one